We have a revolution in Argentina because after a century of protectionism, Javier Millei is opening the economy. We are in the record of exports, but at the same time, a lot of products are entering in Argentina. This is competition, and most of our industries are not prepared for that competition because they were protected for too many years. Also, the results that we can see as a consequence of the investments that are starting at the moment make a good result in political sense, so that Javier Millei can have another 4 years to continue this change that Argentina needed.
With me is Adrian Ravier. Adrian is an Argentine economist and he is member of the Congress in Argentina and is well informed about what Milei is doing in respect of reforms. Adrian, can you please tell us the state of the reforms in Argentina?
Well, we receive an economy with a lot of disequilibrium in the fiscal, monetary and exchange rate. After 2 years and a half, you can see that we have equilibrium macro. We have reduced the public expenditures from 40% to 30% of GDP. That allow us not to continue printing money. We start to reduce inflation from 211% to 30%. We still are in the middle of this road, but I think we have good results that allow us to have a reduction in poverty from more than 50% to 28% of population, and we have reduced extreme poverty from more than 18% to 6%. So this is, you can show good results in economic, political and social topics, and I think that we are having a good experiment in Argentina for all the people that believe that the free market economy are good ideas.
How important is the sequence of reforms? You started, I think, with reducing the public deficit. Was this the main pillar of the reforms, and how important is it to get the fiscal balance back?
Yes, the first step was to correct the exchange rate. It was below 400 pesos, and this was producing a scarcity of dollars in Argentina. The first day that Javier Millei started his government, he take the exchange rate up 118% of the valuation, and this correction make that all the dollars that the Argentinians have in their houses, they put them again in the financial system, in the banks, and this allows savings, investments, and production. This was very important, the first step. Then the second step was this reduction on public expenditures that allow us to have a fiscal equilibrium. And as I told you before, this allow not to continue printing money, and this allow to reduce inflation.
What are the next big steps in respect of reforms? What should follow now?
Well, the next step is to reduce taxes. We don't want to reduce taxes if we don't are able to maintain the fiscal equilibrium. So when we obtain economic growth, this allow us to increase the collection of taxes. Mm-hmm. This allow us to reduce more taxes, and this is very important for the economy. So we have more economic growth, and this allows to continue the reduction in taxes. Even that, Javier Millei at the moment has eliminated like 10 taxes. We have a lot of taxes. We have more than 100 of taxes in the federal government, in the provinces, and it's a very difficult thing, but we are making very important improvements. The reduction of taxes is more than 2.5% at the moment, but we need to reduce more.
Do you think that it is enough just to make to trust in the self-financing effect that lower tax rates will yield higher tax receipts because economic growth will come back? Or don't you think that you have to cut expenditures as well to keep the public deficit low?
We have to do everything at the same time. We are at the moment, we think that the Laffer's curve is right and that you can reduce tax pressure and you are not necessarily going to lose the collection. I think that if you reduce taxes, the economic activity will improve and this allow to have more collection if the economic activity is improving. We can see at the moment 3 important sectors like the minery, the energy and the agriculture industries that are very, very important in Argentina. We are receiving an important flow of investments and in the next years we are going to see the results of these innovations and investments.
But on the other side, you have a downward spiral with respect to the manufacturing sector. The manufacturing production is going down very sharply. Is that a problem for you?
Yes, we have a revolution in Argentina because after a century of protectionism, Javier Millei is opening the economy and we can improve exports. We are in the record of exports, but at the same time, we are receiving a lot of imports. So a lot of products are entering in Argentina. This is competition, and most of our industries are not prepared for that competition because they were protected for too many years. So there are some companies that are closing, and this is a problem. But at the same time, there are another industries that are very dynamic in economic growth and creating jobs that shows that the rate of unemployment is still in 7%, the same as it was 1 year before and 1 year before and 1 year before. So if you see that the unemployment rate is steady, then you don't have a crisis, you don't have a destruction of employment, but you can see that, for example, in Buenos Aires, where we have manufacturing companies, the unemployment rate is 9%, and if you go to some provinces where you have the energy or the minery, the unemployment rate is 2%. Mm-hmm. So you have some movements of some people that abandon Buenos Aires and go to those provinces, and this is very, very important because the population is concentrated in Buenos Aires and the country is very big. So when these movements allow to generate more jobs on those provinces, and these families are starting to live in these other provinces, I think that we have many solutions to some problems or structural problems that we have in Argentina.
In his campaign, Milei promised to get rid of the central bank, close the central bank. When will he deliver on his promise?
The first step was to order the balance sheet of the central bank. If you see liabilities, he take them out, and the treasury put some dollars in the assets of this balance sheet so that we can see an order in the central bank. The next step will be maybe to dollarize the economy, but this is another decision that the economic team have to decide. We can have a peso strong so that we have stability, and maybe we can have an official dollarization. At the moment, Javier Millei is talking about the competition of currencies, as Friedrich Hayek mentioned this in this book, the nationalization of money. This competition means that you eliminate a lot of restrictions that the Argentinians had to move money or to receive their wages in dollars or to make contracts, the rent contract or many workers' contract in dollars. Today, the Argentinians can choose the currency that they think is better for their contracts.
What about the patience of the Argentine people? Do you think they are patient enough to allow Milei to get ahead with his reforms, or will they at any point in time lose patience and then he is losing his support?
Yes, this is a very important question. After 2 years, we have a new election. Javier Millei was elected president in October of 2023. His government started in December, but in October of 2025, we have a new election, and Javier Millei won that election. This was very important. We have excellent results in all the provinces in the country, and this was like a confirmation that the people is approving the government of Javier Millei. Now we have a new election.
Yeah.
Now we have a new election in October of 2027, and we will see. But I think that the results that we can see in economic and also in social terms are very good. In poverty, in extreme poverty, the economy is growing. If you see the complete sectors, industries, you can see that 14 from 15 sectors are growing. The only sector that is not growing is the public administration. So I think that in a year and a half, all these results and also the results that we can see as a consequence of the investments that are starting at the moment will make a good result in political sense, so that Javier Millei can have another 4 years to continue this change that Argentina needed from all these decades.
Okay, we keep both fingers crossed and wait that Milei is getting ahead with his reforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.